week on the show, we have American actress Dior Goodjohn from the hit TV show Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for watching. This show is all about giving you insights and showcasing brands that help you to live your best life and give you confidence. As always, I want to kickstart your morning with some motivational advice to help you to feel inspired and energized to start your day. Today, I want to talk about the importance of understanding that sometimes it only takes one yes to change your life. If you knew you were only a few no's away from receiving that one yes, would you quit now? Oftentimes, it just takes one email, one text, one trip, one conversation that can completely change the trajectory of your life. We've all had a time in our lives where one yes brought us closer to our dreams. Maybe it was getting that job opportunity that you always wanted, or maybe it was buying a ticket to a country that you always wanted to visit. When we realize the power of one yes, we begin to move through life not taking failure so seriously because we understand it's part of the journey. Making your mission today to be persistent in that one thing you've always wanted. Remember, you could be just one yes away from receiving it, but if you quit now, you will never know. So keep going. As the saying goes, success is one step away from quitting. Stay tuned. Coming up after the break, let's talk about Percy Jackson and the Olympians. What was it like being cast in the show, and were you a fan of the books before joining the cast?
So I will say this, I was always aware of the world of Percy Jackson and the Olympians because my older cousins were like the right age group when the books were first coming out. Mm-hmm. So they were like super into the book series themselves, and I always saw them like reading the books. And when it came to my audition process, like finding out that I was cast was not only just an insane, like just, oh my God, like I'm in this like amazing franchise. But at the time I was also living out of the country, like in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing was like, my mom was like, I want to move back home. And so I went with her, you know, because she's my mom. And I didn't know when I would be going back to North America. And it was all kind of predicated on whether or not I booked. And I was starting to get to the point where I was like, damn, I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to go back. And then Percy happened. Not only was it this super beautiful like role, because I studied about like Clarice's character arc before, like during the audition process. Not only was it a super beautiful role, it was like the biggest blessing in the world.
Wardrobe provided by Le Chateau. Next up on the show, we have American actress Dior Goodjohn from the hit Disney TV show Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Dior, thank you so much for being on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here today.
Thank you for being here. We have so much to talk about, including all your success on Percy Jackson's and the Olympians. But before we get into that, let's take it back to the beginning. When did you realize your passion for acting?
That's such a sweet question. You know, I know it's a very strange thing and it's super hard to explain, but I knew that being a musician and actress was what I wanted to do before I understood like what that thought was. Like as soon as I realized what I was thinking, I was like, oh, so this is what I've been feeling this whole time, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like if there was never a moment, well actually there was as I got older, but there was never a moment where I was like, I want to do this, I'm going to make it happen. It was always like, no, this is what I do. And I finally have the words to tell everybody that this is what I want to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. You had an aha moment.
Yeah, it's like the aha moment was like, oh my God. So that's I didn't even know thoughts were a thing. And now that I understand thoughts, I know exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. And one of your first roles was on Glee as Santana Lopez. So tell us about that role.
You know, I didn't realize I was a kid. Like I was a little baby. Like I didn't realize the magnitude of what like I was doing until I was doing it. And you know what's really funny is that I got super, super obsessed with the show years after I did it. And I remember my dad, like he was an actor when he was young. Like he tried to be, he wound up not doing it, but before I had my Glee audition, he was like, do you want to like watch an episode of the show to like, you know, get the vibe, or like, you know, he was like trying to get me to be like a thespian, like into the process. I was freaking 6 or like 7. So
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Like, I know what I'm doing. And then I went into the audition. I just was like, I'm chilling, whatever. And then I booked it, and it was the most incredible experience ever.
Yeah.
One of my most vivid memories is of me and Naya like splitting a hard-boiled egg.
Oh.
She's like, do you want some of my egg? I'm like, yeah, sure. But yeah, that was super fun, super amazing. And I'm like kicking myself in the face to this day, because I'm like, I just did not, but I was also little, I just didn't realize what was like, like I was with the whole cast of Glee. Like, what? Like, that's crazy.
You didn't realize the magnitude of the role and how big the show was. Yeah.
Dude,
absolutely.
like, and just the idea that I could to get to hang out with like everybody, like they're all, oh my God. And like such amazing vocalists and all so talented. I'm like, whatever. If I was older, I would have like really, really taken that opportunity and milked the heck out of it. But I was young. I was trying to eat my butter pasta, do my work and stuff.
I think it's better that way, that you weren't aware of it. And fast forward, let's talk about Percy Jackson and the Olympians. What was it like being cast in the show, and were you a fan of the books before joining the cast?
So I will say this, I was always aware of the world of Percy Jackson and the Olympians because my older cousins were like the right age group when the books were first coming out. Mm-hmm. So they were like super into the book series themselves, and I always saw them like reading the books. And when it came to my audition process, like finding out that I was cast was not only just an insane, like just, oh my God, like I'm in this like amazing franchise. But at the time I was also living out of the country, like in the Middle East. And the whole thing was like, my mom was like, I want to move back home. And so I went with her, because she's my mom. And I didn't know when I would be going back to North America. And it was all kind of predicated on whether or not I booked. And I was starting to get to the point where I was like, damn, like, I don't know if I'm ever going to go back. And then Percy happened. Not only was it this super beautiful, like, role, because I studied about, like, Clarice's character arc before, like, during the audition process. Not only was it a super beautiful role, it was, like the biggest blessing in the world. Because I was like, I get to do what I love for a long period of time on a show that has just like huge like cult following, and I get to go back home. It was just crazy. All of it was just so divinely timed and aligned, and I just remember being like, thank you God, like this is wild.
Yeah, and let's talk about your role, Clarice, in Percy Jackson and the Olympians. She's the daughter of Ares, and she's a strong female lead. How does her strength play a role in her leadership on the show?
It depends on what you define as her leadership, because there's so many different sides of Clarice, and I don't think she discovers what her real strength, like especially feminine strength, is until the end of season 2. Like when we first meet her, she really starts out as a very two-dimensional character. But one thing that I will say about her is that she's very loyal, and she does like to play fair. And that's one of the things that I admire about her, because call her a bully all you want and call her kind of like a bit of a torpedo all you want, it's very true. But she is a very loyal and honest leader when it comes to her cabin and her crew. Like, she will get down in the mud with you. Like, she's not a tyrant, if that makes any sense, which I think is really beautiful. And when it comes to the journey that she goes on this season, she goes from kind of mimicking and imitating her dad's strength, which is kind of funny because I feel like that's a lot of what we do as women in general, is like we get into like this like masculine mode, and we're like, I'm hustling, like I'm getting it, can't nobody tell me nothing. And like I'm so this way, like in my life, don't get me wrong, I'm so this way. But as I get older and like just go through the journey of what it means to be a girl and like be a woman in the world, I'm realizing that trusting my intuition and leading with my heart instead of with my head all of the time is far more powerful than just trying to brute force and logic my way through things. And that's what she discovers this season as well, that trusting her own intuition and leading how she would, not how her father would, will make her a better leader than her father ever could have like promised her she'd be following his footsteps. So that's what I'd say about her leadership, is that it's very, very real, honest, it's fair, and throughout the season, she kind of just taps into what it means to lead as herself, as a woman. And it's really cool.
Yeah, I can totally get what you're saying in terms of being, stepping into your masculine as well, because yes, feminine is important, but like the masculine is kind of like being an A type. And I think for myself too,
Mm-hmm.
this year, I'm like, let me balance both, because both are
Yeah.
necessary. You can't always be in your
Yes.
masculine and always hustling. You also have to kind of step into a place where you're receiving. So
Yeah.
I think I love that you said that. And obviously you're a strong, confident woman. Do you see any similarities in yourself and Clarice?
Absolutely. I think that's probably one of the greatest and scariest things about playing her.
Yeah.
Is like she just reflects me so much, and everything down to like her childhood as well. Like it's very reflective of my childhood. I think it's why I don't know, it was a very divine thing for me to be like blessed to play her. But I'd say a lot of the things that I find similar in Clarice is she has a bleeding heart at the end of the day, and that's what tends to get her in trouble when it comes to being overly passionate about things or making kind of very quick, seemingly irrational decisions. It's because her heart is so into everything that she does all the time, but she never tells anybody, she never lets anybody know. And I feel like I kind of have this same thing where I'm so dedicated and so connected to certain things or experiences or goals or people in my life, but I won't do the greatest job of necessarily vocalizing it. So people are like, well, like, why do you care so much? Like, why are you acting like this? Like, for what? And I'm just like, well, and then also too, it's the loyalty aspect as well. I'm a Leo. I don't know if you're into astrology or not, but I find that I'm loyal to a fault, and I feel like Clarice is the exact same way, and it tends to get her in trouble. It gets her in trouble this season.
Oh, and speaking of season 2, what can fans expect in terms of the storyline and progressing?
It depends. If you're talking about holistically, I think season 2 is a story about hope. It's a story about coming of age, and it's also too a parable of community, I guess. When it comes to Clarice's arc and what you can expect is that she walks out a genuinely completely different person, and for the better. The way that I like to separate the series is like it's books 1 and 2, and then 3 and 5. I mean 3 through 5 for Clarice specifically, because what happens specifically in book 2 sets her up like for the rest of the core 5 of the entire world. And I just think it's a really, really beautiful thing. It's a very like this whole season is so canon for Clarice.
Very nice. And it looks like you guys have a great camaraderie off screen with the whole cast of Percy Jackson and Olympians. So tell us about that friendship off screen.
Those are my brothers. Those are my sisters. Like, I love them to death. Like, every family has their things, but we love each other. Like, we'll fight for each other to the death. Like, we will always be there. Like, I know that if I find myself in a pickle, any kind of anything, like if I pick up the phone and call like Walker or Arian, like I know they'll have my back. Or like if I'm going through something and like my emotions are like kind of like distraught, I know the girls are gonna clock it immediately. Like Leah will clock it immediately. And I think it's just so, oh my god, it's making me sad thinking about it. I'm like happy sad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I feel like working in this industry, especially like starting so young, it's really, and it's already hard to make friends, you know, especially I feel like as a girl. And for the first time, even in like its ups and downs, I really do feel like I've found people that I can rely on for the rest of my life. So it's very sweet and very cool. And I think all of our relationships off screen lend themselves to the relationships on screen.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can tell that relationship. And as well, you guys, you know, you're sharing such a great experience together being casted on the show. So you guys understand each other. So that's beautiful. And Dior, as well as being, you know, a talented actress, you're also passionate about singing. So tell us about that passion.
Oh my goodness. Arguably singing came first. It's very, it's the way that my mom always describes. So she listened to Michael Jackson her entire pregnancy. And there's a couple stories. She likes to tell this story of she was like washing dishes like in the kitchen or something like this when I was really young, like before I could like speak. And she was playing Michael, and she was like, "You were trying to hum the song. I swear, like I swear, I'm not lying. I swear." And I'm like, "Mom, you are crazy," but that's what she likes to say. And then she also tells me all the time that when Toys R Us was still a thing, rip Toys R Us. I love Toys R Us, but when Toys R Us was still a thing, my mom would take me, and I would immediately beeline to all of the instruments and microphones. Like I never had dolls. I hated dolls. I was not into anything pink. I didn't want to be a fairy or a princess. Mermaids are the exception. But I was very much about having like the drum sets and like the little pianos and ukuleles, and it's just always been a part of my life. Like I don't know what I would do if I didn't have music in my life. It's done so much for me and saved me in so many ways, and it's a very, very specific form of expression that I don't think you can get anywhere else. But yeah, it's just been, I don't know, it's been who I am ever since I was young.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I'm a big music person as well, so I totally get it. I have a playlist for every, I feel like,
I have so
my life.
many different, like it's nuts how many playlists for each very niche specific mood.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I created my platform to inspire, to uplift, and to really showcase that anything is possible with determination and passion. So I want to ask you, for anyone that's watching this that, you know, might not seeing their dreams manifest, or maybe just going through a difficult time, what would you say to inspire and uplift them?
Take a beat, breathe, drink some water, and write down exactly what it is that you want. And you don't have to rush it. You don't have to force it. Just really get clear on what it is that you want. Not the material things that come with your dream, but what the dream is and why. Because I really am a believer of, if you've thought about it, if you can see it clearly in your head, it exists at some point in some timeline somewhere. Like there's no way that you would have the thought or feel it so intensely if it wasn't already for you. You just have to take the steps towards the timeline where it exists. So don't give up, put in the work. If you feel like you've done what you needed to do, and that everybody, you know, I did my acting lessons, I put it in, everybody's done it, I've done the same thing as everybody, stay an extra hour. You know what I'm saying? Like really, really do everything that you can in your physical reality to make it damn near impossible for your goals to not be real. Like just keep going. There's no way that it doesn't happen. There's just no way that it doesn't happen. If you work hard, you're a good person. You make sure that you're not, you know, stepping on other people to get to where you want to go. And you really just believe that you're being protected and that it's going to happen. There's no way that it doesn't. That's the only thing that
absolutely. I love that. You know how they say that the universe wouldn't put a dream in your heart if you couldn't accomplish it, right?
Yeah.
So that's so motivating in itself, knowing that if you can think of it, that it's possible for you. But I also think determination, of course, like, you know, what you said too, is a big part of not giving up, because if you quit, you'll never know, right? You just have to keep going. Yeah.
Exactly. Like make your odds insane. You can make your own odds crazy. Like you can make your own odds insane. Put in the extra hour of work. Like get that extra 45 minutes of sleep so that you can function. Like be relentless about what you want. But at the same time, also understand, like, don't be afraid. Don't put in the work because you're afraid that it won't happen. Like put in the work because you know it will happen if you do, and then everything will come to you. It's like, it's so true. Like God knows the desires of your heart. The desires of your heart will be granted so long as you keep your heart and your life pure. If you keep your side of the street clean and work hard, it's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Success is inevitable if you keep going, right?
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
And Dior, what else are you currently working on? What are your current projects?
Ooh, I'm so superstitious. Okay.
Yeah, I understand.
Before they're signed, sealed, delivered. But I feel very, very, very grateful and very, very blessed, especially considering that, like, internally, the end of 2025 was really difficult. like on the internal front, not on the outward facing front.
Yeah.
But there was a period there where I was like, oh, I gotta keep that mustard seed. I gotta keep the faith.
Yeah.
But I feel very blessed and very grateful that 2026 is going the way that it is, and I can only like pray that what I get to do this year affects people in a very positive way and affects the masses in a very positive way. And things are starting to look up. I'm very happy.
Yeah, there's only big things in your path. I can see it. You're such a talented actress. You have so much personality. So I can't wait to see what's in store for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it. And congratulations on all your success.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
The Darriel Roy Show is available on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts.